Welcome to Bandit's Keep. I'm Daniel. So I'm doing a little prep for my game tonight in the Hateful Place. If you don't know about the Hateful Place, I've talked about it a bunch of times. It's a very, very simple and versatile RPG. And one thing that's really fun about it is that it uses or has built into it tons of generators. So I am going to actually run a pre-made module, which is called Hop Hop My Dead Frog, which is this guy here. And I'll put a link to this stuff if you want to check it out. But it is an adventure module, but it's really simple. It's basically, not giving away too much here, the characters are on the shore. There's like these posts that they can leap between to get to an island. On the other side of the island, there's a captured princess, as it would be. And beyond that is a boat, and there's the sea, of course. And the whole point here is they have been chased to this spot. There's some monsters behind them. So they're kind of in this predicament. They've got monsters behind them. They've got this weird setup in front of them. And the water, of course, is dangerous. And a boat that could be to freedom if they can figure out how to get to the island, destroy that monster or avoid it, get the princess and get on the boat. So this in and of itself is more like almost like a scene versus an entire adventure. So what I decided to do was, in order to get a little bit more oomph out of it, because it is recommended you use this as like a start of an adventure or just a quickie or whatever, I'm going to use the generators here in the Hateful Place to generate a little bit more of a scenario, and I'm going to use this as the launching off point for it, or like a hinge point in it. We'll roll and we'll see. I've got by the way, I've got two things open here. Hateful Fantasy. This is a part from a supplement that I created called Hateful Options. Again, I'll put links to all this. And the reason why I'm running this game tonight is I want to test this. Effectively, what I've got is a bunch of classes you can roll randomly to I created classes using the Hateful Place system. So that's all this is here. So I'm going to use this. So we're going to go for a fantasy type setting, but that doesn't mean it can't be like in the future or whatever, think Thundar or whatever, right? So we can do a lot of things. So that's the reason why I have that open. And then I just have over here, this is just my pages, which is word processor. I will make this into a PDF and put it onto my Patreon, not like behind a paywall or anything. You can get it from anybody. That way people can download it if they want. It's just going to be a rough outline. So you'll get what I'm getting here. Again, links to that below. But let's get to this. So we're over here. There's generators. The first one is world state. So let's see what kind of setup we have for the world. We got world state and we have period. So I'm going to roll. I have two dice, a black one and a white one. I'll just roll them at the same time, black then white. So 3 and 1 gives me a military rule. Oh, pre-first century. Oh, that's interesting. So we're kind of in ancients. That may not 100% work for the fantasy, but let's just note that down right now. Sometimes when I jump into this, I'll just use whatever's there. Other times I'll have an idea like I do. And if it doesn't suit what I'm doing, then I'll just change it. I'll probably switch it to like, Middle Ages, because that's kind of your D&D, right? Setting. Let's roll for a setting. This is a D20. That's a 3 in a town. Okay. Town. So that's interesting because we've got a town here somewhere. So somehow we're going to involve a town in this, even though we know that it starts on the shore. So maybe they're the start of the town or maybe they're trying to get to a town. Okay. Cursed setting. Well, let's roll this as well. Let's roll a cursed setting. Why not? 6. The ancient ruins of the city of Durbanan. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. Well, that might be the town, right? Maybe the ruins are, it's a ruin of a town. So that's interesting. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, I don't think we're going to worry about an execution right now. Crime status generator. Let's just roll this to see how the PCs are seen in this location. 5. I'm not going to say that on air, but basically they will be arrested on sight. So they're fugitives. It might not come up, and they probably won't know this. That's kind of the point. All right, now here's where we got something interesting. Starting place. So we've got starting place, and then we also have random generator. So let's do a starting place first. And again, this is just to get the imagination going here. 18. In an underground ring, fighting a monster for money. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. All right, I'll keep going. But let's look at our monster / scenario generator. There's also mercenary work, which is what I might actually use, but let's just roll on this one and see. You don't have to use all of these. Obviously, you pick what you want. 16. Swamp. The ground was there. Now you're waist deep in a swamp. Oh, that's okay. This is actually interesting to me. So we've got a swamp. And the reason why this is interesting is because in one of the other books of the Hateful Place, there is a what's in the swamp. So let's take a, I'm looking at the physical books. I actually have the PDFs over here. I'm sure you want to see. So let's go here. I think it's in book 3. Okay, so we have what's in the swamp. So I'm going to roll here to see what's in the swamp. 7. Swamp people, cannibals and religious maniacs. Okay, interesting. Well, that could vary. Okay, so we've got, all right, we've got some interesting stuff going on here. Okay, let's go back and see if there's anything else we want to roll on, because we have the starting thing, which is the underground ring, but there's also a couple other ones that I sometimes will use here. Okay, so we have the starting place, but there's also 2 tables that are like starting generator or start generator. So what I usually do here is I roll 2d20, and then I'll just, I'll look at both tables and see which one I like better. So I've got 3, well, I rolled 3 for both tables, okay. In a torture chamber, having just confessed, okay, or just revealed to be a spy. All right, both of those are interesting, but I think I'm leaning towards the underground ring. I think that actually works better for what we're doing here. On that note, I think over in the other book, there's what's in the sea, and since we know there's water, we should probably use that as well. But before we do that, we've got plot generator mercenary work. Let's see what the party was doing that got them into this position. Again, there's 2 of them, so I'm going to roll 2 dice, and we'll see which one we like better. I got a 13 and a 15. So let's see. The first one's a 13. There are 5 monsters in a maze, each worth a lot of money. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see. That was 13, so let's go 15. Oh, save a village that holds no reward. All right. So we do have a town listed here, and the party needs to save them. Okay, we got a swamp with cannibals and religious maniacs. We've got, and we have the idea that we're going to use this module, right, with the sea. So let's do one more search of what's in the sea, and then let's see what we can put together with this. Okay, what's in the sea? Let's take a look. A D20 roll. 16. That's a 6, right? 16. Cursed treasure. Oh, dropped here by dying pirates. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. So that's our thing, right? Okay, one final thing. The island says there's a monster on it. So let's roll on our random monster table and see what we get. 2. Banshee. Okay, just 1 Banshee. Often found in ruins of castles and abandoned buildings. All right. Maybe we can make this work because we can have, well, it doesn't matter. It says often. We'll just put it where it is, right? Okay, so it's got some interesting mechanics here. It looks like you roll a couple of d6s to see what the scream does from the Banshee, which is always fun, including a killing scream or one that just does a lot of damage. So let me kind of whip this together into a little bit of a module, and yeah, we'll take a look at it. Okay, so I've got this tightened up into an adventure, an outline for an adventure. Like I said, I'll put this on the Patreon. So I'm going to run through it. There's a couple things I did not roll for, and we'll roll as we go. So Hateful Place 1 shot, I put the date, I'm going to run it. Hop Hop My Dead Frog is going to be part of it. I'm also using the fantasy classes from Hateful Options, which is a book that I created myself, and it's available. I'll put a link. Okay, the world is under military rule. Technology is pre-1st century, so Bronze Age, we'll say. The darkness is. Now, the standard darkness in Hateful Place could be anything you want. I have a potential darkness list in my supplement, so I'm going to roll. And I got an 8, so we're going to check over here. And the darkness is immortality as a curse. The darkness manifests as people being unable to die even due to the most grievous injuries. They simply live on in pain. Okay, so the darkness is immortality. So, yeah, this is interesting now. You'll see as we move down. The party is heading towards a coastal town to seek passage to an ancient ruins of the city of Darbana. It is said to hold some ancient treasure of pirates, which is cursed. We're going to roll for that in a second. Begin in a town that sits in a swamp populated by religious maniacs who eat the dead. The party has been captured and is fighting a monster. Now, originally, that said fighting a monster for money, but the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to say, if they are killed by the monster, then the cannibals eat them, because the cannibals are basically going to be like pacifists. Like they don't kill people themselves, but they'll eat them if they're killed by the monster. So I'm going to roll, though, to see what monster they're fighting, because we don't know that yet. 4. Okay, over here to 4. A crazed ape. Oh, wow. Okay. That's actually perfect. Okay, so the monster is Crazed Ape. And it's going to just be one to start with, but you'll see why this is interesting. If victorious, they will be given some supplies and directions to the coast, but the monster's tribe will continue to hunt them. So basically, we know there can be up to 6 of these apes. So we'll say there's 6 in the tribe, and they're going to fight and hopefully beat one of them. And then if they meet monsters on the way, they're going to be chased by the other 5 eventually. And that's going to be very difficult, which is going to be that on the run thing that we want, right? Now on the coast, then we're going to do the module. With the monster on the island is going to be a Banshee. And then assuming they get to the boat and that all happens and they sail to the ruins, that'll be the end of this adventure and the beginning of another, effectively, right? Each of these can kind of pour over into the next one. We'll just let them get to the ruins and we'll end it there. And they can either just wrap up how you want to just narrate it, or you can keep playing if you want to keep the campaign going. I'm going to roll for Cursed Treasure now. Okay, this is a D20 roll. 14. The Bug Brooch of Durakana. A charming sapphire brooch with a dead bug inside. It is stolen, favorite item of a demon that is still looking for it. Oh, interesting. There you go. So we can start the next session, right, with them looking for the treasure in the ruins and then finish it with them fighting this demon and hopefully surviving. I'm looking forward to running this. I'm sure I'll be talking about it over on my Discord server, so be sure to jump in the description below and get a link to that. Join up and we'll chat. Until then, I'll talk to you soon.